Today is the unofficial start of summer, which means the heat is on.
Yeah, absolutely. So while it is a great time to spend some time outside by the pool or maybe grilling, it's actually pretty easy to start feeling the impacts from this weather. So Dr. Benedict Ifedi joins us live this morning with how we can protect ourselves with this heat that's coming on. Thanks so much for being with us, Doctor.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Good morning.
So what are some of the signs of heat exhaustion that we should be looking out for?
Yeah, so some of the early signs you can have of heat exhaustion is rapid sweating, elevated heart rate, feeling fatigued, muscle cramping, headaches, and dizziness.
And that is a sign that perhaps you're dehydrated and you need to get help immediately, or can you treat something like that at home before seeking help?
Yeah, initially, if you're just kind of having the sweating a lot, feeling the cramping, the first thing I would do is make sure you're hydrating really good with water, probably supplementing with an electrolyte beverage. And if you get to the point where you're feeling lightheaded, like you're going to pass out, or especially if you start having nausea or vomiting, you may be at the level of heat stroke where the body core temperature heats up more than 104 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's reason to go to the ER.
Well, that leads me to my next question. What is the difference really between heat exhaustion and heat stroke? Obviously, the word stroke makes it sound so much more serious.
Of course, yeah. So with heat exhaustion, you're having some of those symptoms, but your core body temperature is less than 104. Usually that's something that you can treat with hydration. If you're feeling really hot, you can put ice packs under the arms and the groin area, on the forehead. And then heat stroke is where if that body temperature gets above 104, you can really start to have major organ damage, whether it's the brain, the kidneys, and then that can be life-threatening. So once you start to get to that point, and if it's a gray area and there's a question mark, I would err on the side of caution and go to the ER just to make sure that we can get that rapid cooling and get the emergent care that they need.
Prevention is always the key to life and just about everything. So in this situation, how important is it to really stay hydrated? What are some things we can do to protect ourselves? Because I know a lot of times people might want to pick up a cold brewski, but if you're out in the heat all day, it might not be a great idea.
Yeah, great question. Especially if you're going to be out in the heat, trying to drink at least 8 ounces of water every 20 minutes. If you're going to be doing any type of exercise for adults longer than 45 minutes, or children longer than an hour, you want to supplement with a low-calorie electrolyte beverage like Gatorlyte, Pedialyte. You mentioned a great point with, the alcohols, Memorial Day. We're starting to get into those summer months. You really want to limit and be careful with alcohol just because that can add to dehydration as far as you having fluid loss through urination in addition to sweating, and that can increase the chance of dehydration, heat illness, and even injury if you talk about injuring yourself while cooking, drowning, or even motor vehicle accidents. So you really want to be very careful with the amount of alcohol you intake.
Absolutely. Dr. Ifedi with Memorial Hermann, thanks so much for being with us on this Memorial Day. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Have a great one.
Thanks for your valuable time. It helped a lot of people out in the heat.
Yeah.
We're not used to it. It takes a few months to, for us to, our brains to say, okay, it's hot again. Here we go.